How you doing? This is Don on RogersRaiders.com, and you're looking at our World of Warcraft add-on channel here. Okay, there's lots of leveling add-ons out there, and since World of Warcraft Classic came out, let me tell you what's been going on. Everybody went, look at all that work I already did 15 years ago. I'm going to slap the word Classic on it and reissue it as if it was new. And I'll tell you why that's not working. And maybe you've already figured it out. They go, well, the add-ons don't quite work with vanilla. That's because they've been keyword using vanilla and they have no clue what vanilla was. They didn't play when World of Warcraft was out. They hopped on the bandwidth later when it got so big that there was money to be made. And you wind up with people who are labeling the 0 through 60 levels vanilla. That wasn't vanilla, guys. What you saw once BC come out was this truncated vanilla. It took 6 months to get to a 60 in the original vanilla. The game was trying to hold us back as players because they were building the game as we were playing the game. And you got to, and once you realize that, then you go, well, they come back and they reissued it. Now, there's some of this where they're like, well, that wasn't in the original game. And I've seen that as I'm full disclosure, I am an influencer on Blizzard. I've watched them turn around and say, and use the, well, that wasn't part of the original game, so it's not going to be part of this. Some of the stuff was convenience added after vanilla ended. That was because to make the game playable. And they need to, while we can go back and say, okay, the puzzles of completing the quests and the finding the quests are what they were, it doesn't mean things like looking for group and things like that need to be so tremendous. But the add-on we're going to be talking about, and the one that you clicked for, was the World of Warcraft Pro add-on for leveling. Now, this is called a leveling guide, but guys, I don't want you to look at it as a leveling guide. I think it was labeled at the time that it was put out. Now, the link is down in the comments. Don't go crazy and go grabbing that link real quick. Take a look at some of the stuff, because this is a complicated little guide. Now, there's a lot to this that works outstandingly. Big kudos to people. I am going to try and reach out to the listed developers of this guide and see if they have any intentions of doing more than just slapping classics and patches on here. Because when the later versions of World of Warcraft came out, they changed some of the levels of the mobs, especially like Stranglethorn Vale, STV. The guide has you running down there at level 30 and going after level 36 mobs because they reverted to the original level of mobs, and this guide was built after those mobs have already been nerfed. For those who don't know what nerf is, some of us used to play outside, and as the world got to be more candy-assed, we couldn't use real leather footballs because it hurt a little bit, and so we had these Nerf footballs made of foam. If you're really hardcore, you wrap them up with really good hard tape, go zinging them at people, and it stung worse than any freaking real football could. But anyway, we're going to get into the settings of this thing, because the settings on this guide are going to matter. Now, I told you not to think of this thing as a leveling guide. Right now, I'm going to go to the guide list here. I'm on Dungeon Ultimate. So I'm hitting my 40s here. And Ultimate is this wide berth of stuff. Now, I'll tell you right now, I'm going through the other guide here, which is the first 30 to 40 guide. And you see up here in the corner, I'm already 41. Didn't even come close to completing that. Rested EXP. It's why I sought out a different guide than the original one that we talked about, which was the WoW leveling guide that I had. It was trying to be too smart and skip quests and skip ahead, and it also suffered from problems of quests being out of order. And that got to be a point of confusion, especially when you got at the 20s. We don't want to get into that. So I'm doing the Ultimate Guide. So this guide's going to turn around and walk me through all the quest steps that I need to do to get into the Ultimate Dungeon. So that when you go do an Ultimate run, you have all your quests. We got a GPS arrow. Now this comes from a separate add-on, TomTom. Watch one of the other videos on that. I will have TomTom listed in here. Both of these guides will be part of the pack that's downloaded directly from rogersraiders.com. There's a video on how to install add-ons manually. One of the reasons you'll have to do that is the add-ons I'm finding work real good. You know what? I just noticed my camera started to fall over on me there, guys. I'm sorry. And the add-on works real good. The add-ons that work real well had some time and effort put into them, but they didn't hand them off to the Chinese gold farming sites. Guys, Curse and places like that, they're not your friend. That's just all there is to it. They're not your friend. Get my little monster logo in the background there. The thing, I mean, more than just selecting the guide. This is now some of the stuff that's not in here in the classic, the professional. The dailies aren't in here because some of this stuff was world events. Now there are world events in vanilla, but a lot of those came towards the end of vanilla, and I don't think they have any way of deciphering what's what. And the achievement guide's not in here, and I wish that one would be put back in there. This is why I would like them to go back. They went and put a patch so this guide would turn on in Classic. And if you haven't noticed, Classic came out last August, and there's videos all over the place showing June, July, and no one got early access. They downloaded somebody else's video, uploaded it as their own, and slapped the word Classic on it, especially the ones that have no conversation and talking. So, and these guys have thousands and thousands of subscribers, which I don't know why. If you got to go watch a video for every single one that somebody puts out like that, it's not good. And then I noticed that the advertising not turn on these thousands and thousands of subscribers video things, and that's not because they're so magnanimous. It's probably because they got caught doing something that the advertisers don't want their ads on. That's typically what happens with the advertisers on there. This channel doesn't have advertising turned on it yet because I do not have 1,000 subscribers, nor do I have the 4,000 watch hours on this channel. But if you go over to the original Gunmusc, Gunmusc channel, I am sponsored and syndicated by YouTube. You will find over there you can join and support my military charities, which I appreciate everybody who does that, as do the people that you support when you do that. It is 100% your money feeding these vets, and you don't have to give it. All the information is given out free. I don't hide anything, and we try to add value to what we're doing here with the video. All right, so let's go. You got your guide displayed. Now, I was just about to go in here and change a setting. I got to find it. Now you see me go clicking the mini map button on and off, and it's not. Hold on, maybe it's hiding. You guys have a tendency to wind up in the same spot. That's one of these things you got to watch about these add-ons. Oh, hey, we're getting some movement there. That's bags I got. All right. So we got a lot of add-ons in here. And that's what we talk about on this channel, is the things that make you a great player, and that is the add-ons. You are only as good as your best add-on. All right, so auto-load the guide, show the coordinates, of course. And just killed my TomTom somehow. Let's get over here. We're going to go to display settings. That wasn't what I wanted to play with. Ping. Resize. Now this thing can get to be a big display. That is one of the problems that we have here. Title bar color. Let's change that so we got an offset. You saw what I just did, right? There's not multiple pages there. Wild Pro selected. We're gonna a quest difficulty control. I like my quest yellow, and if you turn around and do things like now, it has in one of the things. Where did I go? Wild Pro Expert. Grail quest lines. There's a pre-check. Now this is not working in Classic, and it's one of the things I wish would work in Classic. All right, there's these off the wall, out in the middle of nowhere quests that you can go get. Now, this one is in here, but it only is, I say this one, where I turn around. Oh. Or if I want to turn myself into a furbolg. Ah, looky, I'm a bear. Okay, now, you can't mount while you do that. Okay. Now that's the Rainier's cleansing quest, and what you do is you don't turn in the last step, and you get this rod that you can keep in your bag, and you can be a furbolg anytime you want to. It is what it is. It's just something fun to play with, but it's that kind of off the wall stuff that you want to find in this game. We're going back to World of Warcraft Classic because it was so vast. It was so big. There was stuff out in the middle of nowhere. And if your goal of an add-on is to how to get from 0 to 60 tomorrow so that you can raid, well, the raiding's going to come. Anybody that's joining World of Warcraft Classic, once they hit 60, they're going to raid. But why not enjoy the game you're paying for while we're going along? So let's go back to our settings and enable drag, scroll mode, left-handed. I'm not. There's lots of them. See, I can increase the number of steps that I got. But sometimes you don't pay attention. Well, not that you don't pay attention. You have better ideas if you're using your head. You know your way around. Like, I'm gonna go do this long loop around through these towns and drop off these 3 quests before I get back here because they're still yellow or whatever. Let's see. Okay, and quest tracking, of course, enable combat hiding. Now, I do like to enable the combat, so when I get in combat, that thing drops off my map so I can see my points of view further on. That's highly important on anything that's a ranged caster. And Pro Selector. Like I say, on the Pro Expert, enable, disable, Grail quest, obsolete checking. All right. We're not gonna check this stuff. Now, so we have all these guides in here, and I'll tell you one that I'm looking for. Now, see, there's a Zul'Farrak quest line, which is a good one to have. no Scarlet Monastery. And that's because the individual quests for the Scarlet Monastery are buried in the 30 to 40 quest guides here. And you just got to know that when you pick them up, you got to keep them. Now, one of the problems I have with any pro leveling, with any add-on for leveling, is there's no acknowledgement that you may be storing up quests for a dungeon run. And so the ability of this thing, now see, this one's got the dead mines, but it doesn't have all, it only has a few of these things. You can tell where it got abandoned way back when. And probably because when they built the guide, no one gave a damn. You skipped past, you went blowing past. Scarlet Monastery is like level 25 through level 40 that you bounce back and forth for these quests. So you kind of skipped over that crap. And now that stuff needs to be added back into the guides to make it relevant. Like I said, I'm going to reach out and I'm going to show them the video of what I'm doing here. And hopefully, with your guys' comments, if you guys see a problem in there or quest outline, go ahead and put it in the comments section. Come back here, bookmark this, come back and use it as a form of communication with the author. No one wants to be publicly embarrassed, and that's not my goal here to embarrass anybody. It was what it was for the time that they built it. I want to encourage anybody to go back and use these things and donate money to them. If they've still got a donation path out there, go ahead and do that. Maradon. There's the Tenaris leveling guide. What is this? I can't even see down that far. I can't see because of the colors. See, and it's got LED ons. I'm sure that's somebody that contributed a lot of stuff to him because he contributed up here. And they're giving him brand name, but that doesn't tell me 15 years later who this guy is or what he's going to teach me and why. It says right there that this is 53 to their 60s, but a lot of them say that. Matter of fact, there's Blackrock Depths for 53 to 60. I'll tell you another guide that should probably be in here for all the classes you want to get people to download. Best in slot hunting. The best in slot is back to being a conversation where in the original vanilla, some blues beat the epics. And so combinations of certain blues had different procs or different stats on them. And there was towards the end, blues was about all we had for a long time, and then purple was exactly that. It was epic, it was hard to get. It's what created the word epic and purple and made it synonymous with it being better, but sometimes purple's just purple. Okay? What purple really is very expensive to repair. So we got some problems with some of these things. Hold on. I'm going back up to Wild Pro Selector. Nope. Well, I got a guide. Some of this stuff is a little hard to navigate, so I need to go back to my, what was I doing? I was doing an Ultimate. There it is, Dungeon Ultimate. All right. Welcome to the Ultimate Guide, blah, blah, blah. Gives you a nice little rundown. Very well done overall. Okay, so now you see my TomTom's back on there. You got to have the TomTom, it's a separate add-on. Luckily it's working with Classic. Like I said, there's either the original author of this needs to reinvest himself into what he started, and it was a really good foundational thing, or someone needs to pick up the mantle of doing it. So I really highly recommend this add-on right now. I haven't found a better one. So even if you started with another add-on for leveling, go through here. And then my suggestion is, if you're trying to relax and have fun with this game, go back a couple levels. If I was, say, level 30 or 25 or something when I found this video, I would go to my guide list, right? Let's say I'm level 25, and I would go and start the Red Ridge 20 to 20 guide, 5 levels below me, and just go ahead and follow the steps regardless of what it seems like may be gray or greens. And then as you catch up from that level, you'll find it's very easy to walk through the steps, and you'll stay 3 to 4 levels ahead of all your quests. You'll get to where everything's yellow again, and you won't be spending tons of money on repairs, food, frustration, or runs back to your body. So take my advice on that one. You want, especially with vanilla, you learn real quick not to try and quest above you. You want to be 2 to 3 levels below. If you're a caster, I highly recommend 4 levels below. Just the way it works. You can cast so fast that you make up the XP per hour. So look for other add-ons that we're gonna couple with this. As you see, we got a lot of add-ons that we're testing, and I waited all the way to level 40. I went through 2 characters from 25 to 40 before I made this video, folks. So when I say I'm recommending it, it's because I've used it. It works. It's doing what I want it to do. It's keeping me on track. And right now, I want to go out there and get all my Ultimate quests so that I can run Ultimate one time on this character. I have another character that has to do enchanting. It's going to be running Ultimate a lot. So I will do some quests on that one, and I'll probably do like 4 or 5 runs on Ultimate on the enchanting character, because you got to go down Ultimate in order to level up your enchanting. So I appreciate it. Thank you.